Let's talk about stress. We all feel it, right? But what if the key to dealing with all the chaos of modern life wasn't some new app, but an ancient way of looking at the world? Today, we're going to dive into a timeless approach that might just change how you see everything.
You know what I'm talking about. It's the middle of the night, you're staring at the ceiling, and your brain just won't stop. It's that internal monologue on a loop, replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow. It feels like this constant buzz of anxiety right inside your own head.
And then, of course, there's the stuff from the outside. That passive-aggressive email you got, an argument with someone you care about, or, even something as tiny as a mosquito that just decides you're its personal mission for the evening. It's all that friction with other living things that can just derail your whole day.
And if that wasn't enough, there are the big things, the things that are totally out of our hands, like a blistering heat wave that makes it impossible to think, or a thunderstorm that grounds your flight, or that construction noise that starts at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. You just feel completely powerless.
So you've got this noise from the inside, friction from others, and chaos from the world. It feels like you're being hit from all sides, right? But what if these aren't a million different problems? What if they're all just different flavors of the same thing? And what if an ancient philosophy figured this out thousands of years ago? Well, this brings us to a really powerful idea from Sankhya philosophy, shared by Swami Omprakash Ji. It's called Trividh Dukh, which basically means the three kinds of suffering. Now, this isn't meant to be a downer, not at all. It's actually a tool. It's about getting super clear and labeling our struggles so we can finally start to deal with them head on.
So this framework breaks all that chaos down into 3 simple buckets. First up is Adhyatmika. That's the stuff coming from your own mind and body. Yep, that's your 3 a.m. anxiety attack. Then you have Adhibhaudika. This is anything caused by other living beings, that coworker, the family argument, and yes, even that mosquito. And last, there's Adidaivika, suffering that comes from the forces of nature, like that crazy heat wave. See, it's basically a map for our stress.
Okay, so we've got a map of the problem. That's great. But what's the solution? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The first step isn't to fight anything. It's to change where you're standing. It's all about finding one single, stable place to put your attention.
And in these teachings, that anchor point has a name, the Bodh Stan. It's described as a place of awareness, right in the forehead area. Now, don't get hung up on this being some weird, mystical thing. Think of it more like a practical tool, a mental home base you can always return to when the noise, inside and out, gets too loud.
And this part is so important. The goal here is not to stop your thoughts. I mean, trying to force your mind to go blank is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater, right? It's exhausting. No, the idea here is to become an observer. To find a stable spot on the sidewalk where you can just watch the crazy traffic of your mind drive by without stepping out into the street and getting run over.
So how do you actually do that? How do you become the observer? This leads us to the heart of the whole practice, a really beautiful metaphor and technique called the soul mirror. The Atma Rup Darpan, the soul mirror, is basically your own consciousness. Imagine your awareness is a perfect, clean mirror. Everything you experience, a thought, a feeling, a sound, a pain, it's all just a reflection appearing for a moment in that mirror. The reflections aren't the mirror itself. They just appear and disappear.
As Swami Omprakash Ji says, within that soul-like mirror we are seeing, and that one word, seeing, changes everything. You aren't your anxiety. You aren't your anger. You are the one seeing the anxiety, seeing the anger. You are the mirror where all these things are reflected for a little while.
And look at the difference this makes. Without this mirror idea, we're just constantly reacting. We get tangled up in every little thought and feeling. We're struggling. But when we start to identify with the mirror, we just observe. We become detached, not cold or uncaring, but just still. We can watch the reflections come and go without getting shattered by every single one.
So what's the point of all this? Where does this practice of being a witness actually take you? Well, the payoff is huge, and it brings us to our final, most important idea, actually finding real peace.
Here's the whole thing in a nutshell. The goal is to consistently remember that your body, your racing thoughts, this chaotic world, they're all just reflections passing through. You are the one who's watching. You are the awareness, the witness, the silent observer that's always there behind it all.
And what happens when you can rest in that space as the watcher? According to Swami Omprakash Ji, the result is incredibly simple and beautiful. A joy is created, a peace is created. You see, it's not something you have to chase or build. It just
shows up. It's what's left when you stop getting caught up in all the reflections.
And this isn't just regular old happiness, which comes and goes. This kind of peace is different. It's always there, underneath all the noise. It doesn't depend on whether you're having a good day or a bad day. It's a fundamental state of being, not just a fleeting emotion. And it's the natural result of just being that calm witness.
So, we'll leave you with this. This ancient idea gives us a clear diagnosis for our very modern stress, and a real, practical way to find some stillness. It's an invitation to stop thinking of yourself as the storm and to remember that you're actually the sky. So the only question left to ask yourself is, what would you see if you just looked in the mirror?